Hello, love. Welcome home to Eden, your portal to the feminine divine. This is Eve's Eden. So, what I did was I went to this psychic and I said, show me, please tell me the one thing that I can do that would allow me to be more successful in, I used to manifest things so quickly, I said to the psychic. I said, it just seems like now, like I dream and I dream about the things that I want to do and be, and I'm always dreaming instead of being and doing. What's that one thing that I could do that would change everything into flowing manifestation? Because I remember a time as a young woman when everything kept flowing. Well, so here we are. We're a whole group of people. We're all with Jessie Diamondstone, who's channeling the spirit Omara. And each person is asking a question, right? And she says to me, look, when you go to the spirit world to manifest, you're always starting to think that it's just this spiritual prayer thing in the ethereal world. But there's a level of manifesting prayer that must be engaged with a physical body. So when you dance your prayers, when you walk, run, engage every muscle and sweat with your prayers, this is when they become physicalized energetically. So the whole point is that we're wanting to bring our prayers into manifestation. So doesn't it make sense that, of course, if we get physical while we're praying, it'll change things? And I remembered, oh my goodness, in that time period when I was a younger woman, flowing with creation just happening, as soon as I would pray, things would happen. I was dancing every day. I was dancing and I would feel this like lightning through my body of engagement with the divine realm. So of course I did that today. I danced my prayers, honey. Then I went and I swam in the river and I swam my prayers. And as I was swimming my prayers, I was like, oh, the river water turned into ocean water. And I felt myself, oh, wow, I'm already in Portugal and now I'm in Barcelona and now I'm in Italy and I am in these ocean waters. So this is the thing. They always talk about manifestation being much more powerful if we are really feeling it, right? If it's a virtual visualization. When you physicalize, you could be a runner, you could lift weights, it doesn't matter. You could scrub the floors, volunteer in a community garden, but praying at the same time, visualizing and feeling the life you're invoking, that you're already entering. Well, for one thing, it's such a joyous thing. It's such a powerfully lovely thing to be in your body that you're already in your prayer of more joy. Because part of the torture we're having is just not enough physical engagement anyway in life, right? So that's my magical tip for you, for the feminine divine for you right now, is to engage your body with your prayers every day. The psychic or the spirits flowing through Jessie asked me, what's your morning routine? And I said, oh, my routine, I meditate every day. I do a prayer of gratitude for all of life. Then I do my writing for these shows. And then it's kind of like free for all. What's going to happen next? I'm like at the whim of my solar work and the agendas of the world. And they was like, no, what's that physical thing you're going to do? What is it for you? Yoga? Okay. Add your prayers to it. Add your manifestations. It's going to be, oh my goodness, so powerful. So powerful what you'll find from this. I'm already so delighted to have returned. Okay, love, return to the feminine, right? Welcome home to Eden. This is Eve's Eden. I'm Eve Christoph, and we are relearning about feminine energy and what it is to be in heaven in the Garden of Paradise on women's terms, because the Paradise Garden doesn't exist without her. If you take over the garden with masculine energy, it doesn't exist. The garden gets cut down. The garden gets dominated by lawnmowers. It really does. And it's not that our masculine agenda is trying to destroy the garden. He's trying to control it so that he can have a house there and keep the family safe, and a fence around the food so that the animals don't eat it. These are worthy causes of the masculine, but the wild feminine, she's going to trust the innate balance of nature in most of the garden. Okay, you're going to walk in paradise in its natural terms. So today, the homework for you, homework, that sounds terrible. Fun work, fun play. The way to access more of your feminine joy and love at the center of your life, which is the pleasure of being here along with accomplishment. Why would you enjoy your accomplishments if you weren't having pleasure along the way? Okay, so what I want you to do is open up to esoteric ways of getting your guidance. Okay, so the guidance that you may need is not always logical, cerebral. If you go to the tarot deck, if you go to channelers, if you go to psychics, if you go to astrologers, when you do these things, you're asking to know more from the unseen, hidden, magical world. And there are many cultures where going regularly to the witches, to the wild seers, it's like a doctor's appointment. It's a regular thing. It's a regular maintenance of your existence. Okay, so don't be afraid, but open up. Okay, open up to more of asking from a different realm than just the logical brain. Okay, that's going to be a wild adventure for you, and I do recommend looking up Jessie Diamondstone and her channeling of the spirit Omara, for example. One of many amazing channelers who give you a glimpse, where spirit gives you a glimpse of how they see you from the other side. They actually see you. These spirits, these angels, they feel you. They've been walking with you. And when you get a really good psychic reading from one of them, there's this feeling like, what? I am not alone. This story that I'm in exists in eternity. Exists in eternity. So I went to a great channeler, and the question came up, oh, Spirit, please guide me. A woman said, I am such a loving woman, and I have been searching for my husband forever, and I keep getting my hopes completely dashed, and I open my heart up all the way, and these guys just can't handle it. They can't stay with me. She was such a beautiful woman. She was so feminine. She was so powerful. She was so articulate. And it was just to imagine that she of all people couldn't find her partner. And I found myself identifying, like, yeah, me too. I scare the men here, and my heart is always broken, and so the Spirit said to her, look, this culture of America, this is a tragic culture for the lover. Basically, we have people running around like heads on sticks with no connection to their body, emotions, or spirits, and terrified of the feminine and of love and of everything, love that makes you surrender into more that you can't have control over, right? So they said to her, go somewhere else. Go to other parts of the world and experience what it's like in cultures where they're not afraid of woman. They're not afraid of love. They're not afraid of sexuality. They're not afraid of romance. That's the best of life. But in a culture that's very, very overly dominated by the masculine, in a culture such as America, where a big, fat, baby, cruel man would be elected to president, we can't call him a man, we have to call him a child. Because people liked how macho and really bigoted he was, because they thought that was masculine, because they honor the masculine. It shows a culture that's completely out of tune with everything that is feminine values. So they said to her, don't blame yourself for the lovelessness that you feel. Don't blame yourself for year after year how hard it is and impossible it is to meet a great man and have a really loving, exciting relationship here in this culture. They said, go other places. Go elsewhere and experience health. So I know you people who are watching this show who are from another culture where these things are normal and natural, to have love and romance and sexuality at the heart of life and family. You're going to be like, don't send Americans here. We don't want you. Oh, but we're going to have to find health, see health. We need visions of it, because we don't have that healthy vision. As beautiful women, as radiant feminine women, we are all the more ostracized. I mean, I know that for myself, for years I wasn't invited to any parties of my mother's my daughter's school, because the women would tell me in private, they say, you inspire me, you scare me though way more, because you're so feminine and I can't be that way. I don't know even how to handle that energy, so I'm sorry, I just can't invite you to my party. And then, I'd be so lonely. But the thing is, I blamed myself, and this woman was blaming herself. So the whole point here today is to realize, if you're feeling like your gorgeous, wonderful, loving energy, whether you're a man who has women always afraid of you, calling you a predator because you compliment them, or you're a woman who, is just trying for love, and you find that real love, or really standing in it, is something people haven't been able to do with you, go travel other places, okay? I have a friend staying with me for a little bit who has traveled the world, and the places he suggested to experience where woman energy is really doing fine, and love and romance is still alive. He said, try Portugal, try Spain and Barcelona and other cities in Spain, and try France, and he said, and go to Italy, maybe even Greece. That was his suggestion. He's traveled all over the world, so maybe you can take that advice. Don't know. But don't blame yourself, okay? To feel your feminine magic, today I suggest that you dress beautifully. You dress like the archetype that makes you feel most feminine. You dress, for me, this week, it's been more gypsy, more jewelry, more movement in the clothing that flows. Because that fear of showing your body, showing your feminine essence, it's coming from a New England actual terror of the beauty of woman. If you look around in Northampton, where it's a really great place for being gender neutral, gender free, because there's a lot of gay people there. But if you are wanting the feminine polarity, if you're wanting to really feel feminine energy, it can be a really scary place to show that, because there'll be no reaction. There'll be total neutralness, and people, basically women are wearing bags and they're kind of trudging along in masculine energy, showing how logical they are to prove that they are not wasting their time on beauty. Wasting our time on beauty, wasting our time? Are we kidding? Being mothers, women saying things like, I'm just a stay-at-home mom. They don't want to admit it. Isn't this tragic when being a mother is what brings life and raises a human being to the next generation? Okay, so this week, this is what I suggest. I want you to get dressed all femmy. And dare to walk down the street and notice who can handle it and gravitate to the people who smile at you. I always tell the story of the day that I decided to go all decked out with poppies on my shoes and a really awesome, sexy mini dress that I was I was knocking it out of the park. I'm sure I was. And walking around this New England town to see how I could carry my feminine grace into the world. And nobody looks at me, nobody talks to me, everybody, except for when I'm walking across the street, there's an African American man at the end of this sidewalk, and he says to me, you're gonna stop traffic. Big smile, big hello. I was just so grateful to him that he's not afraid to respond to the feminine, to enjoy the feminine, and to celebrate the feminine in a cute way that was not offensive in any way. It was just a great little comment, right? So if you're a guy and this is your homework, first of all, women love it when you dress up too. We do. We love it when guys wear a little cologne and wear their nice shirt, especially on a date. Come on. And we also love it if you can find a way to celebrate the beautiful women around you of all ages in different ways. So a young girl, you would want to say something nice to her in a way that made her feel protected and safe and not hit upon. An older woman, you can be much more wild in body because she's going to have more of a sense of humor and she's not going to expect that you really are hitting on her anyway. And the women in the middle, well, find ways to make them feel like it was worth it to dress up, not just for themselves, but because of the light they're shining for you. Okay, that's the feminine portal guidance for today. Let's dress up, honey. Okay.